1, 2, 1, 2. Checking those ones and twos. Fixing a couple audio issues that I see going on here, including the fact that I do need to set up and make sure that everything's going through the regular headphones when I'm using my wireless and not the regular desktop audio, but we have got that fixed. 1, 2, 1, 2. Everybody getting ready here. How's everybody's Saturday? Starting up here in just a couple minutes. I see some people up in the chat. 1, 2, 1, 2. Checking those ones and twos. I gave Quest a blue wrench. That was me, because I'm the only one here that can. I think we better get started here, though, before we've got a riot on our hands. Let's get up and going. Well, hello! How's everybody's Saturday here? Welcome to Ed Talk. My name is Jay Edgar, and we got some stuff to talk about today. Now, if you guys are new to this program, and I think some of you are, we are going to spend the next 60 minutes, because I don't spend enough time talking to the live chat, talking to the audience. When we're doing contemporary, I go back and I read your chat all the time, but I know that people go to a live stream because they want to get interacted with. So, when I do Ed Talk here, this is my trade-off. This is my chance to take some time and talk to you, my audience, which I'm very, very thrilled for. You guys I can't tell you how much I'm thrilled for the chance that I get an opportunity to come here and talk to you guys here on the weekend here. So, the usual rules apply. We are on YouTube, DLive, Twitch, no more Periscope because they eliminated that, and Facebook. I do not believe Trovo is working right now. I looked into it. Looks like we may be having some issues with it. It won't connect to the chat. I know I can't chat out to Trovo from the chat robot, but I'm attempting to stream there, and I've got it up and open there, but the usual rules apply. I'm going to spend the next 60 minutes interacting with you guys in the live chat back and forth, but if you guys can get 20 people across all the platforms, and I should probably turn my Instagram on too because I'm going to count that as well. If you guys can get 20 people on across all platforms, all 6 platforms, and I can see that and I can verify that, then we will go for 90 minutes. 90 minutes of live chat for you guys. Definitely something I'm looking forward to. Now, you guys choose the topic. And sometimes I will do a call-in show as well, but I'm having trouble trying to interface my Bluetooth headphones with both the Discord and the regular audio there. So we're going to hold off on that for now. I'm going to play around with that a little bit off mic and see if I can't get something to work with that. But definitely still come in and live chat because I definitely want to take some time. And hey, if you're not in the Discord or the Gilded server, because if the Gilded server becomes more popular, we'll start doing a call-in show over on that one as well. Head into the link in the description below, and that is going to be your hub to call in. I'm going to ease off on the regular phone number for a little while because I don't have a way to call screen. And those of you who saw my last Ed Talk where I did a call-in show will note the fact that I did have a, let's say, very ambitious caller who called in several times, like 9 times, just to start spouting the N-bomb off on air. So we're going to hold off on that for now. It's still there, and the number could be there. And if I get more comfortable with all this, then yeah, we can possibly do that. But yeah, 20 people in, and we go for 90 minutes. Let's see what you guys are saying so far. Looks like I've got Boulder Vaughn and Megnog over on the Instagram side. Thank you guys coming on in. And like I say, that's 2 people right there. So if we get 20 people going concurrently, then that's what we're going to see. And let me get my counter up here just in case my live chat counter doesn't work. So right now we are at 7. We're at 7 people right now. Let's see what you guys are saying over in the live chat here. Starting off, Quest Fanning is here, and he says he is before first. The Breakdown with Birkenhoff is here. How we doing? Welcome on in. Quest Fanning says hi. He's got waves out here. Yeah, there's me with my audio issues. So yeah, we had a couple of those just to start off with, unfortunately. And it's an unfortunate thing to do with the changing of technology, of course. We have to sit down and figure out how everything's going to work together. And once I get this new PC build too, oh, that's going to be fun. I'm probably, as soon as I get the new PC set up, I'm probably going to sit here and do this from the laptop for a little while longer yet, just because there's going to be so much else that we've got to do. And so I saw how the R-rated conservative had to do things to go and set up, and he had to take 3 days off just to get everything set up right. But, you know, like I said, I can still use the old HP for a little while. We know it works. We know it physically operates. So while I get everything loaded up, while I get OBS set in there, while I get the scene set up, we can still use the old HP, who is probably getting just about ready to retire over here. But, you know, this old HP has actually done fairly well. From what I understand, my new hard drive and graphics card are coming in the mail. They left today from Texas. Thank you, Seawall, for that. By the way, that's a big donation for this. And I didn't get as much of a bonus as I thought I was going to this quarter, but I'm still going to start getting major components for this thing because it's time. We got to start doing this. And hey, if you do want to support, there is the link down in the description for the Subscribe Star. My PayPal is down there. If you guys want to throw me a one-timer, that'll be cool. Elaine has pushed me to go with a buy me a coffee as well, so I'm going to be looking into that probably tonight, or no, I'm going to garden for the rest of the night tonight, but probably either tonight or tomorrow. I'm going to look into that. I'm going to add that to the description as well, and I'm going to add some cycling Nightbot stuff in there too. I'm going to, because I know I can set it up on a timer in the main chat. I can't do it for Instagram obviously, but I can do it on a timer in the main chat, and then it'll just kind of throw the links around there and cycle them out as you guys are talking, because yeah, I mean, if you guys think I do good work and you want to throw me a $5, I'm going to take that $5. I absolutely will. So let's look into that as well. What do we got here? Quest Fanning says, it's alive. It's alive. It's alive. She blinded me with science. Seawall's in here with his up-armored half-track. Yeah, you guys seen any riots anywhere where you guys are? I know the mainstream media's not talking about them. And I live way too far out in the country for me to see anything like that. So it's not here. I haven't dared to venture closer to Kenosha at this point and see what's going on over there. But yeah, you guys seen anything like that? Quest says, hey, who gave Quest a blue wrench? That was me. I did that because I know Quest is generally around during a lot of the streams, and especially when we did the big charity stream, I wanted to make sure that there were people who were going to be around most of the day, just in case we did get a troll in the live chat and had us thrown off YouTube. That was the important part for me, was to stay on YouTube for as much of the day as I could. So absolutely, 100% absolutely, Quest has a wrench because, and I trust him. I've been in a chat group with him for long enough. He has bailed my channel out more times than I can count. He's bailed my channel out numerous times when Ed's World came up and I didn't have a guest. From the power of the iPhone, he has come and bailed my stream out. So I got to throw my hat off to the guy, and I trust him. I trust him to follow the rules. So absolutely. This is sounding so good in my headphone. Yeah, you guys want me to keep the music on? Because this is not DMCA, so I can... Now, the Instagram crowd can't see what's going on with this, but... or can't hear this, rather, because I can't put the pretzel rocks in through the Instagram side. But, yeah, we got some lo-fi going on over here, and I will keep this on the whole stream if you guys like it. Because I like it. I really like it. I love lo-fi. I almost did the chill EDM, but I didn't like what I was hearing. So we'll do the lo-fi instead. So... let's see. Quest says, hey, Seawall, Yama Fago, that is my friend John from over on the Generational Gap, is here. He greets us with his regular Ayo. Quest says, hey, John, you feeling drunk? Yeah, how's that beard feel, John, now that it's not there anymore? And thanks for doing that. And absolutely. And if we can still do the donation link, by the way. So if you guys want to put !! donation in the chat, it'll bring up the link for the GoFundMe that is going to stay open until Monday. So you guys can stay in until then. That'll be open till Monday if you want to throw a little bit more. We still have just a touch over $600 the last time I checked, and I will get a haircut if you can get me to that $2,500 mark. That was the agreement. John held up his end of the agreement, so if you guys can make the agreement stick, we get to $2,500. I will hold up my end of the agreement with bells on, and I won't do it live because, you know, coming out and having a hairdresser in a town that I'm still fairly new to come into my house and give me a haircut, that that sounds like a creep out, and yeah, we're not going to do that. I'm not going to cut my own hair, obviously, because, I sit in front of a camera every day, but yeah, I'll run down before the Red Net show and get a haircut over the weekend. If you guys get me up to $2,500 before then. Unless you do it right on the show, then obviously I won't, because we've got the show going on, but John says, a severe draft. Quest Fanning says, meat being racist. So, okay, let's start off that. So it looks like the Biden administration has come out and declared that we should only have, 4 pounds of meat a year and limit our burgers consumption to, what the hell did he say? 1 burger every quarter? Dude, I live in Wisconsin. That shit's not gonna fucking fly. As far as meat being racist, I don't know the aspect of that, but of course, anything that our friends over on the left side of the aisle don't care for is deemed to be racist. So that's definitely something that could happen and something I could hear, but I don't know about the racist side of it. So if you want to include me in on the live chat when I catch up to it, I will definitely look into that and see what you've got going on. But yeah, I don't know about racism, but yeah, no, I'm not going to stop eating red meat for our president. I barely acknowledge him as the president. He's the most legitimate and fairly elected president in the most fair election in history, honk. Most popular president ever, coming leaps and bounds past Obama, honk, honk, honk. Absolutely, and you can never ever question that. Quest Fanning says, my meat is very picky. Well, you got married because your meat is very picky. Your meat only wants one place for the rest of your life. Of course, your meat is very picky. Saint is here with his usual good evening, bitches. Seawall says, I don't know, he looks kind of sus. He looks that way, but, he also willingly lives in New York City, so there's a little bit of suspicion going on there. To be that close to Yankee Stadium willingly, how could you do that? There is a little bit of suspicion there. I get what you're saying. Saint says he's a better mod than I am, to be honest. Well, I expect people to moderate the same way that I would be president. If I decided to become president, if I decided to run for president, I tell people, because I know a lot of people in this live chat will say that I should be president. Well, I would probably be the worst president in the history of man, because my platform would be, don't kill each other and leave me alone.
And particularly who bring their brain to the table.
And if Congress is going to bring me something to sign, it better be a repeal, because we're not making new laws while I'm president. We ain't doing that shit. You will give me a budget, no more omnibus, you will give me a budget, or I will not sign it. You will give me a budget. Otherwise, no, fuck you. We will not make any new laws. So if you bring me something to sign, it had goddamn well better be a repeal. And other than that, people of America, don't kill each other and leave me alone. That's my presidency, right there. Alright, let's see, what else do we have here? Seawall says, howdy, Saint. Oh, we're doing this, half-track thing. Quest says, are those new glasses looking good? Actually, yes, and I had these on for Friday's show, too, because I went over and picked them up on Thursday. Still get a little bit getting used to, and that's because I don't get new glasses, except for every, 5 years. So, definitely on Thursday, I had the new glasses, nausea. Are there lyrics in this? There shouldn't be lyrics in this. I thought I set that to no lyrics. Let me go double check my settings.
Change it because you don't know how.
I don't know. We'll deal with that. But yes, they are new glasses as of Thursday. And I can see clearly, when they're doing text messages on the Netflix shows that I'm watching, Fate the Winx Saga or something like that, I can actually see the text message from my bed. I couldn't do that up until Thursday, but yes, new glasses. Thank you. Thank you for noticing. And now that I actually kept my prescription this time, because I don't usually do that, and I might, once I get a little bit more money put together, grab some Warby Parker, just because I always only have one pair of glasses, and if they do break, I'm fucked. But just to be able to go back and, grab another pair, pull it out of the nightstand, out of my desk or whatever. If, God forbid, they do break. Yeah. We've got the usual rash of hellos for Saint. John says, my face is already scraggly. It'll be back very soon. Well, you went through it and you did it. So that's what I'm pumped about. Thanks for that, John. Alright, let's see. 9 watching right now. Cool, thank you. Thank you all. You guys rock. Alright. Boulder Vaughn is here. Welcome in, Boulder Vaughn. Boulder Vaughn came over from the Instagram side, but thank you. Yeah, Instagram was kind of glitching. Yeah, I don't... Because I'm actually going off my my regular 4G connection. I don't know why I don't get 5G here. I'm supposed to get 5G here, but I don't. So that's just going off my regular 4G connection, and it does serve as a good backup, I will say that, to have the Instagram there. But, usually like when you're watching Contemporary, I'll have the news up behind me, and I can't transmit that to the Instagram. Plus, you can hear the music. The music is good, too. Zolo7171 says, nice snake. Thank you. Yeah, I was kind of happy to put that one up there. The donation link is up there if you guys want to throw a little bit up here. What did Saint do? Oh, Saint. You can't ban someone for that. Refer to the Discord rules. If somebody aggresses against a moderator, that moderator is not allowed to take retaliatory action. You have to get another mod to do it. That is like the only rule that I have for mods. Otherwise, I trust your full judgment. Absolutely. Donation! The breakdown with Birkenhoff says, Biden, the only one wearing a mask with all the world leaders. Yeah, that was hilarious. You do have to wonder at some point, and I'm not that tinfoily, but you do have to wonder at some point if that's really Biden there, or if there's something else going on, because you never see him without a mask. Is there a deep fake? People come out and say the eye color is different, the ears are different. Come on, man. I don't know. I think it's Biden. I just think that he's a blithering fucking idiot. And he likes to virtue signal a lot. Boulder Vaughn says, I'm going to eat bacon dipped in red meat just for that. Or, and hear me out on this, red meat wrapped in bacon. Like, get a nice big beef shoulder roast, wrap that thing in bacon, and then set in the slow cooker for all day. Seasoned, of course. I'm just saying. I think that would be delicious. And that's a good way to enjoy more red meat. Yeah, the president. You can't eat red meat, man. God damn it. You're going to be fueling climate change. Well, try and stop me from eating red meat. Let's see. Saint says, like every part of the cow. I mean, are we moving into Hinduism where the cow is sacred? Is that what we're doing here? Or what's the deal? What's going on? Because I don't understand. Vampire Hunter D says, hired. Cool. Thank you, Vampire Hunter D. I'm not sure what I'm hired for, but... Bull Devon says, well, I'm sold. Quest Fanning has an insult for the Red Sox. Seawell says, how much fishing would you do as president? A lot. I would do a lot of fishing as president. Mainly because, like I say, my mandate as president would be, leave me alone. Don't kill each other and leave me alone. Saint says, who the fuck is talking? That voice irritates me. Yeah, I noticed that coming back up over. It was probably from the lo-fi track while I was listening, where I've got in the background. Let's see. Quest Fanning says, let's make a law for culpability for lawmakers who violate their constitutional oath. Well, the problem with that, and I like the idea. I actually really like that idea. The problem with making a lawmaker, making a law to hold lawmakers accountable, is the fact that you have to get the lawmakers to sign on for it. You have to get them to make the law to hold themselves accountable. It's just like when you say that we need term limits for Congress people. And then you have to get the Congress people to make the law to say that they have term limits. What lawmaker is going to look at this and say, you know what? I'm riding on Easy Street over here. Well, they're not doing this because, I mean, I have a severe lack of bearded lawmakers, but you've got a lawmaker up here that says, you know what? I'm riding on Easy Street right here. I've got a lobbyist that takes care of my every need, and they're taking care of my family. I'm going to be a millionaire when I come out of here, whether I leave on my own or whether I get voted out. I'm going to be a millionaire either way. You know, why would I vote to give myself an artificial limit? I don't think that's wise. I think I'm just going to stick around here forever and ever and ever. Amen. All right. Yeah, that's the biggest problem that I have with that. It's not that it's not a good idea, and that's something that I think we actually do need to look into as far as states go. Now, I know that they talk about Article 5 of the Constitution, and we really maybe should start looking into doing some of that because the power that's in DC has got way too much power at this point. But what does it take? Like 35, 36 states to get to get a convention of states? Let's actually have a look at that. How many states for convention of states? 34. A convention to propose amendments to the United States Constitution, also called an Article 5 convention or a mandatory convention, called for by 2/3, currently 34, of the state legislatures, is one of two processes authorized by Article 5 of the United States Constitution, whereby, and this is Wikipedia, so take it for what you will, because it may actually be incorrect. It may be something that somebody put in there for a plant, and this isn't an article that's locked down either. Whereby the United States Constitution be altered. Amendments may also be proposed by Congress with a 2/3 vote in both the House of Representatives and the Senate. So, for anything that we would want, we would need to get 34 states on board. And I don't know if that's going to happen because there's an awful lot of coastal states that probably won't get on board. Who could, if we wanted to do Article 5, the Convention of States, what states would get on board? And here's the big question. How bad would the progressives, not the politicians, the progressives on the ground, bitch and moan and scream, even if there were 34 states? Because what do we got? You know, you could probably push with the Wisconsin legislature. Now, you can't get our current governor on board, but with the Wisconsin legislature, you can get Wisconsin on board. Wisconsin, Iowa, Wyoming. What else? I should probably scroll down while we're saying this, but, there's 3 right there. You probably get Florida on. Not California. You can't count on California. Maybe Nevada. Texas. Where are we at? 7? 7 states. So we still need to go find 27. All right, let's catch up with this here, and then we'll see if we can't get 34 states on board. 34 states that we think could be on board. This is actually a fun exercise. I like this. 10 people watching. You guys get 10 more people concurrently watching together at the same time. And I've lost my entire Instagram audience, but, thank you guys anyway. If you guys get 10 more people concurrently watching, we will go for 90 minutes. I'm ready. I'm pumped. Let's do this. Quest says it sounds more like prose than lyrics. Yeah. And that's one of the I don't know how much I actually like this station for like a continual, just because it does have that in the background. So we can either kill the music or switch up the station, because there are other stations that we can do. I just really like lo-fi, and it's really easy to talk over. You're not trying to drown out the music behind you. It's really calm. I know we listened to lo-fi over Christmas. I'm like, towards the end of the day, my dad asked me if the elevator was ever going to open up and let everybody back out. So, but, that's one of the things. It does make good background music because it is such it's elevated elevator music is all it is. All right, let's see. Seawall says, oh, I had to completely redo my server after pulling that video card. Luckily, I was already planning on updating it anyway, but your computer build killed my server, and it isn't even built yet. Well, I guess if you needed it. I'm sorry that I'm taking it, but It was your idea. But yeah, absolutely. Thank you again, by the way. I'll get with you and make sure I get some PayPal back down to you, so to cover the shipping, because that was what we agreed on, was covering the shipping. And you said what it was, but I'll throw you an even 20 off of it too, just for the fact that you helped out. I'll throw you an even 20. I'm willing to do that. Absolutely. I mean, where else are you going to get a hard drive and a video card for 20 bucks? You're never going to see something like that again. So it's worth a 20 to me. Cover the shipping and a couple bucks back in your pocket. Tilgen says what? Well, I don't know, Tilgen. Boulder Vaughn says, I have a large game hen for roasting, then dipped in bacon. That actually sounds really good. I might have to do that, actually. Now, are you saying dipped in bacon or like wrapped in bacon? Because I could see dipped in bacon grease, but also bacon is okay because remember, that's not a red meat. That's a white meat. Truthway says, good evening, care for a flat earth discussion. Not really. I mean, if we want to do it, but that's fine. Earth is not flat. End of discussion. Boltavon, I'm actually a little surprised that you came down on that side, given the world that I met you through. I'm a little surprised you came out on that side of the discussion. And it's not really easy to disprove flat earth. Just look at the mileage differences between the bottom of South America, the bottom of South Africa, and the bottom of Australia versus, well, I mean, look at, if you circumnavigate versus the Antarctic Circle versus the Arctic Circle, it's the same distance. A flat Earth, you wouldn't be able to do that. It would be a much smaller distance. Well, yeah, on a flat Earth. It would be a much smaller distance because, according to flat Earth theory, the North Pole is the center of the Earth. And then it's just radiating out by the latitude lines out towards Antarctica, which is the ice wall that ends flat Earth. And you can't go beyond the ice wall. But there again, if that was the case, then the Antarctic Circle, which there's documentation of the mileage of the Antarctic Circle, the Antarctic Circle would be much, much larger than the Arctic Circle. So, that's where that goes. But yeah, I'm not really big on doing this kind of flat Earth thing. Alright, Quest Fanning says, scallops wrapped in bacon are awesome. I am not a big scallop eater. I don't care for scallops. I love shrimp. I will go to the ends of the earth for shrimp. I will absolutely 100% go to the ends of the earth for shrimp. But scallops, I was never big on scallops. My mom loves scallops. That's how I learned how to cook them. But yeah, I was never a big scallops person. Let's see. Truthway says the Earth is most certainly flat and stationary. Well, it's not, but there's enough evidence out there to show. And for the most part, everything that I hear from flat earthers is, well, how do you know? Tilgen says, what are you talking about? It's up to the people for congressmen and women to be reelected or not. No, it's usually up to lobbyists, not people at this point. The only life position is the Supreme Court justices. Boulder Vaughn says, the Mayans were wrong. How dare you? How dare you? Yes, that little girl coming up and talking in front of Congress the other day too. That just fucking blew my mind. The fact that Congress is taking their cues from an 18-year-old high school dropout. I want to fix something over here. Just hang on a sec. No, I guess that is fixed. I thought that was dipped below the line. Alright, anyway. Let's get back to you guys, because this is your time. This is not my time. This is your time. So the Mayans are wrong. How dare you? How dare you? But how do you know, Boulder Vaughn? That's the question. How do you know? 34 minutes in, you guys. Let's see if we can't get those last 9 people before we head on out of here. 9 more, and we'll go for 90 minutes. 32, close. Quest Fanning says, once we get some more bearded lawmakers, this country will be back on track. Well, that's not necessarily. Because Ted Cruz grew a beard, and he's hit or miss. I'm not going to come out and say that Ted Cruz outright sucks, but he is very, very hit or miss. Especially lately. Lately, he has been, I like Ted Cruz sometimes. He makes some really good points. But he is a part of the machine. And he also has a beard. I need to I need to take the fucking weed whacker to my beard. I don't want to get rid of the beard, just kind of make it manageable. Boulder Vaughn says, Tilgen, I think all federal judges are lifetime, not just Supreme Court. Yes, that is true. The judiciary can ask for their resignation, but they don't have to tender it. No, they're not termed out. Now, your state judges, that'll depend on your state whether or not they're lifetime. Like, we elect our state judges over here in this county. In this state. So our state judges, our municipal judges, our county judges and whatnot, those are all elected positions. I don't believe they have term limits, but they are elected positions. So yes, you can absolutely rotate out a judge if you think that your local judge is corrupt. And that's one of the things, too, to go with, like, the difference between your state judiciary and, say, your federal, like, that's the other thing, too, like Cahill. That was a good one to think about. Cahill in the Derek Chauvin trial. That guy is probably corrupt at this point. Well, he might not be corrupt. He was probably looking out for his best interest. But absolutely, if I was in Hennepin County, I would be launching any sort of campaign to get Peter Cahill elected out of office or recalled or whatever we could do for him. Because Peter Cahill came up and said, I'm looking out for the interests of the state because that's my position as a judge. No, it is not. Justice is blind. You as a judge, your responsibility is to make sure that the trial is conducted fairly without catering to either the defense or the prosecution, the state or the individual inside, and be an impartial mediator between the two cases. Your interest is not with the state. And the fact that you could say that and nobody else brought that up, I saw that and that frightened the shit out of me. And I've been listening. I listened back. I was listening to some of the coverage, well, past, because I'm a week behind on my podcatcher, but I was just listening to some of the coverage over the past few days, and even the great lawyer Ben Shapiro didn't catch up on that. I caught it right away. No, your interest is not to the state. Your interest is to impartiality. And then the defense attorney's interest is to to the defendant. And the persecution, their interest is to the state. Your interest is not to the state. I could go on a 10-minute rant just about that. Just about that. I could sit here for 10 minutes and talk to you about how wrong that statement was. But this is not my time. This is your time. Let's see. Seawall says the Republicans currently control 30 state legislators. They only need 4 more states to take control. That's a good point, Seawall. But there's one other thing that does concern me with that is what GOP. Like if all these states were Freedom Caucus GOP, I'd be probably a little bit more amiable to the idea that okay, yes, we could get this too, but. There is a large swath of the Republican Party right now that serves the machine, and they're just basically Democrat-light. So, and that's one of the things that I've noticed as progressivism has taken hold among Democrats, is that the Blue Dog, Reagan, Union Democrats are quickly becoming more Republican because the Overton window has shifted so hard. And with that, I do have to wonder, like I say, if all those state legislatures were Freedom Caucus GOP, like your Rand Pauls and your Thomas Masseys, and I know those are federal senators, but still, if they were senators or representatives or legislatures in that vein, I could see it. But I also know that a lot of the Republican Party just doesn't want to upset the system. They want to be there to come out and be the court jester and say, "You progressives, you slow down. You slow down, okay?" So no, I have no faith in that. I'm thinking more on what states would actually be more freedom-minded than what would necessarily be Republican. All right, let's see. What else do we have here? Boulder Vaughn says Kentucky and Tennessee. Yep. Yeah, both of those I could see getting on board with that. Alabama. Yep. Saint says Arizona already voted down the CC resolution. I don't know what the CC resolution is. Could you fill us back in, Saint? Constitutional Convention, would that be it? Well, that's actually interesting because in spite of the fact of the way the presidency went in Arizona this year and the fact that they put Kyrsten Sinema in, which I really like Kyrsten Sinema. I know it's an unpopular thing among Republicans, even though I'm not one of them. But I actually really like Kyrsten Sinema. I think she's doing good for the country, not just the party. And I think that pisses Nancy Pelosi and Charles U. Schumer off too. The fact that she's more interested in the country than the party. I like Kyrsten Sinema. I like Kyrsten Sinema more than I like Ted Cruz. Figure that one out. Sewell says there are 2 split states. If those go Republican, then the Republicans only need to fully flip 2 more states. I've got Yu Zhang Bong, 19, says Châtelet. I don't know what Châtelet means, but welcome in, Yu Zhang Bong. Thanks for coming and hanging out with us. Sewell says I didn't need it. It was for the it was a software issue. Oh, well. You're the kind of guy that could fix a software issue. I'm the kind of guy who would look at the same thing and start to go into a panic because I don't know where to start. And then probably call somebody. Let me see if there's any donations over here. I do want to go and check that quick. By the way, I do accept lemons if you guys are over on DLive. The link is in the description as well. That's another good way you guys can donate to me, is lemons over there. But yeah, you guys throw me the PayPal. Throw me the Subscribe Star. The Subscribe Star is the biggest help for me because that can help me establish a monthly income. That is a huge one for me. And I've got a little bit of money coming in from the Subscribe Star, but there are perks too. If you go on the Subscribe Star as well, you can go in and you can hang out with me. Obviously, I've got group hangouts you're eligible for. For some of you that's actually not even a big issue, but still, I've got group hangouts you can be eligible for, and then private hangouts as well. So those are some of the upper tiers, but you'll always get an email from me, and I will always be letting you know what your money's going to go for. I give an email out every month to everybody who's on the Subscribe Star list because I'm not just going to take your money. I definitely want you guys to know what it is that you're paying me for. So let's keep going. What else do we have here? Quest Fanning says, politics is downstream culture. Get the people in the states jazzed about the change, and the electeds will have to follow. All right, we got probably about 17 more minutes going on here. You know what? I'll go a little bit longer because we had the audio issue, I didn't get started until 5:37. So we'll go to 6:37 for sure, and then we'll do the thanks and the wind downs. But I will take chat up until 6:37. Let's see. Sewell says, cool. Yu Zhang Bong says the earth is round, end of discussion, and flat at the same time. Sewell says the earth is not a sphere, it's a lumpy, misshapen egg. Get your facts right. It is, I guess, from what I understand, a little bit more elliptically shaped than just a regular globe. Exactly, that's why I said it's both round and flat at the same time. The Earth is non-Euclidean. It's an ellipsoid, specifically. I don't know what that word means. And I don't like it when I don't know what words mean. Let's go find out what that is. And that's going to be the word of the day, too. But let's go figure out what it means first. Euclidean. Definition. Adjective. Relating to or denoting the system of geometry based on the work of Euclid and corresponding to the geometry of ordinary experience. of such a nature that the postulates of Euclidean geometry are valid. All points on a Euclidean circle are equidistant from the center. Oh, that's interesting. All right, let's see. All right, you guys, can you get 10 more people in the next 15 minutes? Yeah. All right. Yu Zhengfeng says it's an ellipsoid specifically. Quest Fanning says, I know some really smart high school dropouts. I've got a master's degree, but it wasn't to get a piece of paper. Okay, that's what you were trying to say. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I come out here and I talk about political science just about every day. I mean, this week, other than Sunday, I will be doing it every day this week, or this past week. My degree is in auto repair. Wouldn't that be funny for me to get to Congress or the presidency? And I talked to my mom about this the other night because I called my mom and I spent 2 hours on the phone with her. And I mentioned to her the fact that you guys want me to be the president, which I'm flattered by the way. I absolutely am. That you guys want me to be the president. Well, I thought it would be funny because I wouldn't run as a libertarian. I would actually run as a Republican if I went to the presidency. And of course, I would be a Freedom Caucus Republican, but I would run for the presidency as a Republican. And how funny would that be for the Republican president of the United States to come from a union family? How hilarious would that be? What do you think the people would say? Because of course they would know I came from a union family. I've told you guys that. What kind of a world would that be? And, how would people react to that? All right, Saint is out of here. Thank you, Saint. Thanks for stopping by. Drive safe. Let's see. Seawall says state legislator Republicans are much more populist than the national level. Well, yeah, of course. They've got to see these people in the grocery store. They've got to see their constituents. Let's see. Boldevan says no. Let's see. Seawall says they vary from libertarian Republican and some tradcon. Well, yeah, I could see that too. But absolute populist, absolutely, because they're closer to the population. Now, there's big things of security that surround all your federal representatives, and you're never going to get to talk to them. If you do get to talk to your federal representatives in today's day and age, it's going to be very, very rare, and it's going to be very, very heavily guarded. But I know who my state rep is, and my state senator too, by the way, and I've seen them both in the grocery stores that I go to. Because they shop in the same grocery stores I do. I don't talk to them because, I don't really care for either one of them. It's one of the shitty parts of living in the district that I live in, is I've got two super progressive state representatives. My representative and my assemblywoman and my state senator are both incredibly progressive. But I know who they are, I recognize them, and I've seen them around town before, so. Boulder Vaughn says, Bobert in the house is my favorite. Yeah, she's really cool. I'm less inclined to think that she's a plant, but she does take it up a bit over the top at some point, and I do wonder sometimes if she is planted in her seat in order to cause dissent and discourse. Kind of like AOC Light, but for the right side. But Marjorie Taylor Greene, the more I see from that woman is a plant. That woman was planted there to sow discourse and discord. There is no way possible that if she actually held the views that she's in, that she lost her committee assignments over, if there's no way in hell that they let her get elected into office without bringing that up before she was in office. That is the cold hard truth, because if everything that we're hearing about her is true, and it wasn't planned for her to be in office, and she wasn't a plant, then we would have heard wall-to-wall news coverage about that. You'd have heard more about her than fucking Kelly Loeffler. If she really had that many problematic opinions. I'm sorry, I can't look at what that woman is doing, what she's doing in the House and say, No, that woman was completely legitimately elected and nobody saw it coming until she was sitting in the House. She has had way too much screen time for that. There is no way that she's not working with somebody up on the inside. There is no way. And then also got away with nobody knowing. If I'm wrong, tell me. You tell me in the live chat. This is your time. Or you can email me, edsblogtwitter@gmail.com. You can tweet at me, @edsblogtwitter with a 1 in place of the I. And tell me I'm wrong about Marjorie Taylor Greene. But I just look at everything that she's doing, and that woman is a plant. There is no reason that a first-term congresswoman with no committee assignments should have that much sway in our conversation. Boulder Vaughn says, you don't know Chatelet. Apparently not. Yu Zhang Vong called me a boomer, and he says he doesn't know what Chatelet means. I don't. Yamafago says, Kekistan is a dead meme, though. Yu Zhang Vong says, also, what good has cinema done for the country? From what I understand, her moderate Democrat branding is as fake as Nancy Pelosi's teeth. Well, she has indeed. She stood in the way of the filibuster going away. That's a good thing. And she does kind of stick it back in the face of the more radical wing of her party. I do like cinema. I do. This could have been a lot worse. I mean, hell, we could have had a fucking McCain back in that seat. Also keep that in mind that, yeah, isn't she sitting in McCain's old seat? That's a fate worse than death right there, to have a fucking McCain sitting there. And this also considering the fact that Sidney McCain, his widow, is now going to be in the Biden cabinet. Because the swamp's going to fucking swamp. But, you know, she doesn't and I know where you're from, Yu Zhang Guang, so she doesn't represent either one of us. I'm not going to dox her or anything, but she doesn't represent either one of us. So we can sit back here and have this discussion with her, but I do like her. I like Kirsten Sinema. There are a lot worse people that could be sitting in that seat right now. Especially with the progressive machine alive and well in Arizona right now. And we'll see if that continues. Yeah, that whole thing too with the... I'm not sure what it is exactly they're doing. They're doing some sort of recount or audit about Maricopa County. And Democrats tried to block it. And the judge said, okay, we'll put up $1 million bond. And the Democrats said, okay, we're not going to pay $1 million to go back and block this. Which I haven't even dug into that story yet to see what the exact details were. We'll find out about it on Monday morning on Contemporary because it's on the stack. I've already got that planned in for Monday morning's show. But yeah, that looks like there's some shit going down with that. Gary Busey Rage says, do you think police who use a taser and unintentionally kill someone, i.e. heart attack, should be charged with unintentional murder? No, I do not. Now, if a police officer pulls up a gun, uses intends to grab a taser, pulls up a gun, and shoots a victim, then yes. That officer should, at 100% minimum, be off the force, but that officer should be charged with unintentional homicide. Man 3. I think Man 2 was a stretch. As far as the Kimberly Potter thing goes. Man 3 would have done, but also I said that Chauvin could have probably easily been hit with Man 3 as well. As far as a taser goes, no, that's no, not unintentional murder. No. Maybe a lower form of manslaughter. But even then, I think that would be a stretch. Because there was no intent. You were intending to use a non-lethal way. But there was an underlying health condition that did something else. Equipment failure, underlying health condition, something else. In order to do, well, not necessarily for manslaughter, but I know because you're trying to ask for murder off this one. In order for it to be murder, you would have had to go out and intended to cause bodily harm to do so and intended for death to happen. If you were specifically trying to prevent death from happening by using another means, then no, you shouldn't be charged with murder. But if you use the wrong means, then your ass is going to jail. And that Potter woman turned herself in. I promise you, she turned herself in. You can hear right from the fact, and there have been other theories that go along with that too, especially given the fact that, you know, she comes up and she's like, "Oh shit, I just shot them." I hear other people coming out and alleging, and I don't know if this is true or not, that she was a desk jockey for the most part, because she was a police trainer. But could she have been just somebody who sat at the desk all the time and she was just out on the street because she was training, and she almost never had to encounter a suspect? Therefore, that would make some explanation why she grabbed for the wrong piece and she thought she was deploying her taser. That would absolutely be a plausible explanation, but she should still lose her job and possibly go down for third-degree manslaughter for that, because that was wrong. And yes, the meme goes around on Instagram. If you can't tell the difference between your taser and your gun, you shouldn't be carrying either. Absolutely, you should not. Seawall says, if you become the Prez, make me Secretary of Defense. That's actually not a bad idea. Because you know enough about military history, you know enough about patterns, and military strategy that I'd be comfortable with that. That's actually not the worst idea in the world. I know you're just trying to troll and make a joke out of that, but that's not the worst idea in the world, is to have you as a defense secretary. Just also keep in mind the fact that I'm not going to want to go to any wars outside this country. In fact, I'm going to want to actively avoid wars outside this country. So you might be bored. Boulder Vaughn says, I need to be Interior Secretary. I don't know enough about you to say yes or no on that. Like, I know Seawall well enough that I could say that yes, he'd make a good Secretary of Defense. Boulder, I don't know you well enough to say if you'd make a good Interior Secretary. I'd certainly consider it. I know the R-rated conservative wants to be the press secretary if I'm the president, which I would probably do. I'm not going to lie, because that would make me laugh. And if my mandate is going to be don't kill each other and leave me the hell alone, then I want to laugh. And I would, especially as a Republican, because you know, if I ran as a Republican, you know that the press would be all over me. Especially, too, on top of just being a Republican who got elected from the outside of the political establishment. They would be all up my ass and my press secretary's ass for anything. And to put the R-rated conservative in front of them, where he's, you know, he's not going to care if he's on TV. Jim Acosta is going to come up and say, excuse me, no, this is what we heard, and this is the narrative we want to push, and the R-rated conservative is going to say, you know what, Jim Acosta? Fuck you! Alright? Just fuck you! And you can hear that in his voice, too. You know you can. Eliza is here. Welcome, Eliza. Aren't you another friend from the other side of the world, by the way? I know I've been starting to get really popular in Australia for whatever reason. But thank you for coming in and hanging out. Boulder Vaughn says hello. All right, 10 more minutes, you guys. We got to get caught up here. Quest Fanning says, my congresswoman's chief of staff gave me his contact info, and one of my friends could get me in direct contact with the congresswoman. But she's a useless congressperson, never got legislation passed. I have a general idea what part of the city you live in. I don't know enough of the geography of the city to know for sure, but are you in AOC Biscuits district? Because I know, and I'm not going to out what borough you're in, but I know that her district goes partially into your borough. That would be an interesting conversation to have. Quest Fanning says the closest she came was authoring the DREAM Act. Okay, so no, that actually answers my question right there, because she wouldn't have been in Congress during the DREAM Act. She was still mixing drinks at that point, and probably sucking off Cenk Uyghur's dick. Yu Zhang Bong says, not saying cinema isn't better than most Democrats, but that isn't saying much. I tip my hat to you, sir. Because that's absolutely true. Alright, we hit 100 messages today, which means you guys rock out loud. Let's see, Yu Zhang Vong says, and the filibuster helps Democrats too. Most of them just don't realize it. No, they realize it. It's just the hope right now is that they will get the filibuster out and then they will never come back out of power. That's the hope that they have. But usually only one side at a time, depending on who's in power. Yeah, no, and they love to use the filibuster too. Democrats in Congress love the fucking filibuster when it benefited them. Like Tim Scott's police reform bill got filibustered out because cocaine fucking Mitch was still the head of the Senate at that point because he was a black Republican. Yeah, his bill got filibustered out. They use that shit all the time. Barack Obama loved the fucking filibuster, and he filibustered every fucking thing that he could. But now it's a Jim Crow relic because he doesn't get a chance to use it anymore, and now it's standing in the way of his fucking agenda. Yet Democrats love the filibuster when Republicans are in the majority party in the Senate. They absolutely love the filibuster. And they will use it at every chance that they can. But they've got this radical agenda sitting by that, for all intents and purposes, I think that they intended to already have through at this point. So now they're trying to make up for lost time, and the filibuster standing in their way. And God forbid anybody try to sell their radical agenda rather than jam it down anybody's throat. And also consider that if Cocaine Mitch decided that he wanted to eliminate the filibuster, like he did with Supreme Court justices, which I am against, by the way, I am 100% against ending the filibuster for Supreme Court justices. In fact, I would like to see it go back in place for lower court judges. I would like that very much, actually. But if he did, or, and this is the other side of this, if, for whatever reason, in 2022, Cocaine Mitch becomes the majority leader again, or, even a further stretch off this one, if Joe Manchin switches sides and says, fuck this, Democrats are treating me like shit, I'm going to go be a Republican now, like Jeff Van Drew did. And then as soon as he said that, McConnell lifted his head up from his fucking desk and went, say hello to my little friend! Then yeah, they'd be cheering for the fact that there's still a filibuster there. You know what would make me laugh my ass off? You know what would make me laugh more than anything else in the world right now? If Democrats went back and wined and dined Lisa Murkowski and Susan Collins together, you know, bought them a bunch of Wagyu filet mignon and lobster tails and all kinds of fun, fancy dinners and the most expensive bottle of 13-year-old wine that they could find. I told them all the stuff that they're going to do for their district if the filibuster goes away. Got those two on board to where Kamala could tie-break the filibuster. And then Manchin and Sinema both got up and said, you know what? We're going to be Republicans now. And then Cocaine Mitch is the majority leader without a filibuster in place. I would be pissed about it because I think the filibuster needs to be in place, but I would still have to laugh my ass off over the fact of the panic and the meltdown that would be coming from the progressive left. If Mitch McConnell was the Senate Majority Leader without a filibuster in place. How much would you laugh if you saw something like that? I would laugh. But I think we're going to start wrapping this up here, so let's get ready to be done here. Quest Fanning says, Obama have a great argument for the filibuster during his 2/3 of a term in the Senate. What's good for the goose is good for the gander.
It can show
Yeah.
feelings only to the extent of
And then he says Yvette Clark is his representative. Yeah, I figured that one out, actually, right at the beginning, because, yeah, as soon as you said author of the Dream Act, I'm like, okay. Now I get it, because the Honorable and Venerable Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez D. Twitch could not have been in the House at that point because she authored your representative authored the Dream Act. But that's going to be it here, you guys. So let's change up the music here. Let's go in and get our regular outro here. And we're going to start calling it a day. Let's change up the track. All right, so we're going to head on out of here for the day, and I want to thank everybody who did come by and hang out with us for the duration of this program here. And, you know, we didn't get to any of the topics that are sitting up on the schedule here, but that's great because this was your time. So we got out what was important to you, we discussed it, we had the discussions that are important, and now that the charity stream is over, I'm going to start doing this a little bit more often. I want to do some more across the board, get some more guests on and talk about that. I want to reach out to a couple people as well just to see how much notice they actually need to get on something like that. So that's going to be something that's coming back here in the near future. Definitely looking forward to that. And we're also probably going to be doing a lot more of these as well because I love doing this and I love giving you guys a chance to talk. I was so pumped when so many people came by for that just impromptu one that we had on Tuesday night, where I didn't even think about it. I looked at this, I heard the verdict, and I said, no matter what, even if I'm staying late from work, we've got to sit down and talk about this. So you guys came and hung out, and it was awesome. I love having the conversation with you guys. It's been one of the most privileged points in my entire YouTube career. So definitely thank you. Thank you for coming and hanging out. And let's see. Thank you to Quest Fanning, Yu Zheng Vong, Eliza Boulder Vaughn, Gary Busey Rage, that's a new name in here. Thanks for coming and hanging out with us. Yamafago, thanks for coming in here. Who else was in here today? Seawall, thanks again to Seawall, and thanks for helping me get this build up done and ready to go. So definitely looking forward to getting that done, ready to go, and getting a better program for you guys here. Not just what we're limited to because of equipment, but actually getting you guys a full-fledged regular program. Because you guys deserve that. You absolutely do. Let's see, who else is in here? I said Yu Zheng Fong, I said Seawall. Saint was in here. Thanks, Saint. I know that he had to take off because he probably had to go back and drive some more. So, Tilgen, thanks for coming and hanging out with us. Truthway, thank you. I'm sure that you didn't like the fact that I wasn't a flat earther, but absolutely thank you for that. Vampire Hunter D has hired me. So, and the Red Sox still rock, by the way. The Breakdown with Birkenhoff, thanks for coming and hanging out with us. Let's see, John, I said Yamafago, Zolo, the Nightbot in here with the donation link. Thank you for that. And Zolo likes my snake. Let's see, I think, is that just about everybody here? I do think that's just about everybody. So thanks everybody who came by and chatted in the live chat. We'll be back here at 7. Between 7 and 7:45 on Monday morning again. We are going to try, and like I said, we're going to use the month of May. We're going to try and get back to that 7 o'clock start time again. So keep an eye on the Twitter for when Contemporary starts each morning. But yeah, we're going to try to do that for 7. Absolutely. So thank you for that. Otherwise, we will be back here for the Red Dead Show. The live event is actually already created for that, so I'll start passing that out as well. That will be at 5:30 Central Time, Monday in the evening, where we have got so much stuff to talk about. But Elaine is back. She will be back as well, so come back and hang out with us and come and see some of the redesigns that we do. We're definitely looking forward to some of that as well. Otherwise, never take the words of bloggers, podcasters, or journalists as gospel. Find all the facts and draw your own conclusions. I'm going to head on out of here. I'm going to have myself some dinner. I hope you guys do the same and enjoy your Saturdays with your families. So thank you for coming by, and thank you for coming to my Ed Talk. Take care.